Hey, gals and guys. It's Christopher, and I am an alcoholic. And it is a still a spring day, and it is pouring out. So it's a good day to come up with a topic today. After yesterday's video, which was the hardest video for me to do to finally sit down and get it done, this one will probably be a cakewalk. So today I want to talk about detox and detox facilities and my experience with them, keeping in mind my experience might not necessarily be your experience. My experience overall was very positive to the place I went. So I went to a place called Villa of Hope in Greece, New York. It's a very nice facility. I think the facility is only a couple years old. Very clean, nice, very kind staff overall. Patients, overall, good people. They could be grumpy. Some are street, some are white collar, some are blue collar. It's a mixture. And they do have male and female. And the only time they really mix is when you go to dinner. So keep in mind, detox is not rehab. It's two totally different things. Detox would be something that you would go to before you would go to a rehab, be it an inpatient or an outpatient deal. In my particular case, I've been to detox twice. I went last November 2022, and I just went this past August, actually the beginning of August. I've actually been sober since August 1st. So I'm sorry, I got to interrupt my own self, my own edit. I was actually September 1st. I didn't. I have to amend what I just said. Thinking and talking at the same time is very difficult for me. So let's get back to what I was yapping about. A lot of anxiety just for a lot of things. I don't want to go back to drinking. I lost my girlfriend. I'm looking for a job. I'm currently on unemployment. So a lot of anxiety inside. So back in November, I'm not one of those people that don't think they have a problem. I absolutely know I have a problem. That's why I went to, if you didn't see yesterday's video, that's why I went to inpatient for like 4 or 6 months and graduated and was sober for 2.5 years and then fell off the wagon from there. So that whole story is yesterday. I won't rehash all that. So I called 911 in November. I was drinking little shooters, which I often do of Red Stag, and I was drinking them pretty heavy. And in my drunken state, I know this is stupid, and I was doing it I've binged. Usually, this is a binge thing. When I reach out, and I've only done it twice, reached out to 911 on this particular thing. I broke my ankle once and called 911, but that's totally different. Um, so I did call them, and they did take me to the hospital. Um, it was a long, torturous. It was a long, torturous wait. So they hook you up to IV. They try to give you some meds to what they can give you because you're starting withdrawal. It's not a fun thing when you're all high on alcohol and you're feeling pretty good, and then you're coming down. I mean, I'm only an alcoholic. I've never taken any other drugs, so I don't know if that's the same for every substance. I'm assuming in one way or another it is. So I was in the hospital. Oh, should I say 12 hours? Just laying on this gurney. Maybe not that long. I think it was quite a long time. It was quite. It got to the point because I didn't feel good, and I was just laying in a gurney in the hallway because the hospital was so packed. They didn't have. This was the emergency room. They didn't have rooms for everybody, so some of the gurneys, some of the beds were outside, and the nurses were way overworked. It was hard to get a nurse, and I don't fault anyone for that. But when they're available, they were very kind and very helpful. So I was in an IV for a while, and then I talked to this one particular nurse a couple times, and she suggested the Villa of Hope to go for detox, which I agreed. And it took some time for her to call them and get a bed, and for them to allow me to be there. So say 12 hours. Now, this was an experience because I had my cell phone, my smartphone with me, and I had my charge wire. I didn't have the block, you put in the wall. I didn't have a place to put it in anyways. So they were going to call me a car. It was going to take a couple hours for this medical vehicle to pick me up and get me home. So I wanted to just go home. I wasn't feeling good. I was just off alcohol, and I just wanted to get the fuck home. So, of course, my phone wasn't charged. So I asked the lady at the front desk if she could charge the phone, which she did. She had a charger that she could plug in and plug in. And I waited, 15, 20 minutes. I was going to call an Uber. So, and I'm shaking. And I don't have the Uber app on my phone. I got to put the Uber app on my phone, and then I got to sign in. And I couldn't do it. I asked the guy next to me in the waiting room, in the front of the emergency room where people wait to get in, to if he could download the Uber for me, the Uber app, which he helped me. He's very nice guy. And I talked to a girl there. She was in a wheelchair. She was there for a liver transplant because she drank too much. I didn't get. She gave me like a Twizzler or some kind of candy or something. She gave me and the guy next to me. She had candy with her, but who knows whatever happened to her. So I got the Uber app installed, and then I couldn't use it because the way the hospital is, the way the walls of the hospital are, I couldn't get a signal. So Jesus Christ, I'm shaking, and I'm just trying to get the fuck home. And I go outside. I try to get a signal. It's just not happening for me. So eventually I just wait for the medical vehicle to pick me up. Called out my name, got in the medical vehicle. He had to go get someone in a wheelchair who was also going to come with us. And that took like 15, 20 minutes. And I asked, because I just wanted to get the fuck home, if it was all right if he dropped me off first. And she was very nice about it. She said, yes, that's fine. We all talked a bit. I don't really remember what we talked about. I think we talked about her family and Christmas and what pain in the asses they were. I think that's the main topic of discussion. So the next day, I was scheduled to go into detox, which I did. Still shaking. My mother drove me there, dropped me off, and she helped me fill out the paperwork because I was still shaking, either from nerves, from coming down off the alcohol, or both. I just couldn't write anything, and they have all these papers for you to fill out. It's like if you're coming down off something, alcohol, and you're shaking, it's impossible to fill that shit out. So she filled that out. I got admitted. So what they do is they tell you to bring some clothes. Don't bring any type of liquids or anything because they're just going to toss it. Toothpaste, soap, anything of that nature they will provide. Say they will get rid of it if you bring it to this particular detox. And I'm thinking most detoxes would do the same thing. So they go through your bag, they go through your clothes, making sure you're not trying to smuggle anything in. And then you take a pee test. You go and take a pee test, and then you put a gown on both ways until you can, because they'll take your clothes and clean them. Now, I'm thinking to the fact they clean them is like for bed bugs or something to that effect. I'm not really thinking like a substance that might be, sewn into them or something. I think it's more for sanitary reasons than anything else. So once you're admitted, you go into the door, they close it. There's no way out except for them letting you out. And they bring you to a room. It's a nice room. It's got a TV. It's got a bed. There's a place to put your clothes once you get your clothes. They'll give you soap and toothpaste, and they'll give you a razor if you need to shave. And I just use soap for shaving cream. And they gave you all the essentials. There's showers there. So basically what you do is you either sleep, go in the rec room, watch TV, you eat multiple times, and you detox. You get medication in the morning and the night, depending on what you're getting, like antidepressants and anxiety medication, definitely for me, and melatonin for sleep. It helps you sleep. It tells your mind that it's time to go to bed. So that's basically what you do. 3 meals a day. Big meals, and then snacks. 2 snacks a day. You get a lot of food at this place. I couldn't go to each thing. It was too much food. So there's no lack of food where this detox was. It's just getting through it, especially if you were really high up, coming down, and it's painful. And the drugs will help a bit, and you get your vitals and all that. And then eventually they'll wash your clothes, they'll bring your clothes, put them away, change, get out of the gown, put them away. So not last time, but this time in August, there was a couple guys there, very street, very nice guys. But they were very street. I don't know what other way to call them. They were complaining about the food. Oh, what's this shit? What's this fucking shit? Like every freaking time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, every time for like 2 or 3 days. I think the one guy left a couple days in, and I think they both left because you're not there very long. You're only there from like 3 to 5 days. I think one kid was there for a week, he said. And then you go off to whatever you're going to do. You're going to do inpatient. You're going to do outpatient. You go back and do drugs, depending on what your goal is. My goal was to obviously not drink again. So, yeah, they were complaining. It's not a fucking Holiday Inn. It's not. don't go to Detox thinking you're going to get a 5-class meal, or a 5-star meal, a 4-star meal. They feed you a lot. It's not terrible. I mean, it's not great food, but they feed you. It fills the hole, and that's all I ever concern myself with. So I don't know what they thought, if they were going to a resort, or I just found it hysterical. So that's about it. What I did for 3 or 4 days, I just hung out in my room. There was a couple people from AA and NA that came along, and they did like an hour story. They tell their story, and then they give out this pamphlet, and they'd invite you to meetings and stuff, which I haven't gone to any meetings or anything. So you go to those. They have movies. There's a rec room. There's movies, games. There's a Wii in there if you want to play a Wii. There's a few games. So there's things to do. There's things to pass the time. If you're feeling like shit, you don't want to be playing the Wii. So I mostly both times just watch TV. Both times, and they were both pretty much the same. They kind of melded into the same experience. And that's really it. Then you go and you fill out your plan. I've got my folder here. Stuff's going to fall out. Got my folder here. You fill out your plan, what you're going to do, why you're the way you are, why you think you're the way you are, who's your support system, what you're going to do from here. The first time I went back to inpatient and saw a counselor. This was November. And I didn't drink until I think January. So it was a long time. The detox was enough to stop me for a while, at least through the holidays. Then I started up again. I don't remember what the trigger was. It might have been lack of job at the time. And then I got a girlfriend. I met a very nice lady. I hung out with her. I got a job. So I kind of chilled out. And then I got back into it hard again because the job was only short term. And it was hard to get one after that. It was a 2-month contract. A gentleman went off because his wife was having a child. They had a kid together, and he went off on maternity leave. So I filled in for him. But that came to an end, and now I'm still looking, tons of interviews. So that might have been the trigger. You don't feel, I don't know, is this a sexist thing? You don't feel like a man. You don't feel, I'm dating this very successful lady. She has a home, kids, and you feel like you're a piece of shit sometimes. Maybe I'm a piece of shit sometimes. You do stupid things when you're drunk. I'm not going to go into that. Mostly this is for detox, but I was just trying to explain why I went to detox both times. And the second time was, which I mentioned yesterday. I was watching my girlfriend's house for the week, and then when she came in at 5, I thought they were going to come at 10. My drunken mind thought 10 o'clock for some reason, and I'll clean up everything and put the bottles in my car and so on. But they came in at 5. They saw the bottles. Her son called me a piece of shit. A piece of shit. So she let me stay the night because I was drinking, and then I left in the morning, and then I came home and drank my ass off. Because I pretty much probably lost her, and I probably still have. And so I called 911 twice. 2 police officers came out, talked to me. They had a drug counselor come out to the house and talked to me. She gave me some paper. I don't really remember most of the conversation because I was drinking at the time. And then I said, I thanked her. And then we might have talked about the Villa of Hope going there like the next day. I'm not really sure. Then I went back into the bedroom, started drinking again, and this is stupid. I called 911 again. The paramedics came out, and they said go to the Villa of Hope the next day, which we called, or they called them, I think, and they let me come in. They weren't going to let me in initially the second time, to the fact that they didn't think I was that bad. I was, because I was coming down, and I said, I'll just go home and start drinking again, and I don't want to do that. So eventually they got the idea that, okay, yeah, he is coming down. So they gave me a room. And that's pretty much it. And then from there, my plan was to go to outpatient, which I did. And that's a whole other conversation that I'm going to get into in another video about outpatient and inpatient and my experiences there. But that's detox. I mean, it's not terrible. It's, you go in there, that's exactly what it's for. It's for 3, 5, maybe a week for you to come down off whatever you're on. In my particular case, I was treated very well. All you do is eat and watch TV. It's not Club Med. You don't have any freedom. You can't go out. You don't have anything. You can have a pen and paper. You have your clothes, but and they'll provide bathroom necessities for you, but that's about it. You can't have your phone. They'll allow phone calls, so you have to sign up for phone calls if you're going to make a phone call. But you don't have a phone. You don't have your smartphone. You don't have your computer. Nothing. No contact with the outside world. And that's it, just for a few days though. And you come down off whatever you're on, and that's it. And that's detox. That's going to detox. So if you've never been, that's basically my experience. Again, I don't know if it's every detox place. The Villa of Hope is great. I can't. Maybe you can tell me if you've gone down below in the comments your experiences. That would be great. That's kind of why I made this channel, is to share experiences with everybody, and hopefully they'll share as well. And that's it, gals and guys. That's my story on detox, and that's this video. So I appreciate you very much. If you could please subscribe. So obviously the channel is just starting. I'm just starting to go and make videos on it. I have a lot of subjects to talk about. If you could share this with maybe someone that's having a problem, and then hit the bell for updates. And I'm not sure what the next topic will be. It depends on what I feel like talking about at the time. All right, gals and guys, I appreciate you as always. Please be good. Please be safe. And please, if you're having an issue, there's plenty of help out there. If you look for it, there's plenty of help out there. All right, gals and guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.